So welcome to the first night of the Making History Together 2020 Disability History Month Festival. I'm Ju Gosling, also known as Ju90, and I'm the Artistic Director of Festival Organisers Together 2012 CIC. With me in my Canning Town studio, where she's been shielding since March, is our chair, Julie Newman. Random cats may appear uninvited, so if you see our camera shake, you know they're near. Some brief audio description from me before I continue. I have hennaed red hair in a self-styled corona crop, green eyes behind black plastic glasses, and olive skin. I'm wearing a white t-shirt with the Together 2012 logo on the front, a black leather blazer, black wrist braces, and silver-coloured jewellery. Behind me is a silver grey curtain and a white banner with graffiti representations of some of the different art forms that we deliver throughout the year. Although we're in a virtual space, I need to begin with some housekeeping for guests who are joining us on Zoom. I'm assuming you all know where your fire exits are. So first, apologies if anybody was asked to enter their email address and name before coming through, particularly if you found this an access barrier. We have told Zoom not to do this, but it doesn't always listen. But we won't be keeping the data, and nor will we be keeping ticket data as part of our privacy policy. Second, this event is being run as a Zoom webinar, so ticket holders have less control over their screens than usual, and you'll have your cameras and microphones turned off, but live chat will work. We'll be using a system called multi-spotlight to enable access to BSL interpretation, but this feature will only work if you have an up-to-date copy of Zoom, so the update link is in the live chat box if you need it. Please note that if you're using a mobile to view this event, you will only be able to see the BSL interpreter while she's at work, but you can view the full screen via our live stream to YouTube and our website. So the link for this is also in the chat box. And finally, we have live captions for this event, thanks to global real-time captioning. If you're joining in on Zoom, you can find the closed caption symbol on the toolbar. This may be at the top or bottom of your screen or invisible unless you touch the screen, but then click on this to display them. On YouTube or the website, simply click on the CC logo on the bottom right of the video window. And now I'm going to hand over to Julie for an introduction and some thank yous and her own audio description, of course.
Thank you, Ju. Hello and welcome to the ninth Together 2012 Disability History Month Festival. My name's Julie Newman. I'm the chair of Together 2012. I have medium long gold and silver hair, I like to think, and I'm wearing an NHS t-shirt, white t-shirt with a maroon crushed velvet and gold patchwork jacket. To open the festival, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our organisation and how Together started. Who would have thought back in 2012, when the United Kingdom Disabled People's Council with Jaspal Dani as the chief executive set up the first Disability Arts Festival, that we were creating a Paralympic cultural legacy. That first festival came about because of the determination of local disabled people that we should not be overlooked while international attention was being directed to cultural events in London 2012, specifically in Stratford, that had no relation to our lived experience. The UK DPC was an umbrella organisation of 220 member disabled people's organisations, and we had an obligation to our members to show a presence during the Paralympics. So we set up UK DPC House in our office in Stratford Advice Arcade and welcomed a range of international visitors, as well as displaying some wonderful work produced by disabled artists. Plus, we set up a series of disability cultural events and workshops encouraging disabled visitors and locally disabled people to participate. And for the first time, the streets of Stratford were full of people like us. I've never seen so many wheelchair users, and we had a wonderful part to play in that celebration. If you remember, all local venues were closed and used as houses for the various international teams. The host borough residents were advised to go on holiday and stay out of Stratford. Other than a brief participation in the vast opening and closing ceremonies, there was no obvious opportunity to showcase the diverse art forms and expertise of disabled artists, other than what we set up. Yet the Charter for the International Paralympic Committee, the IPC, specifically mentions culture as one of the missions for legacy. The IPC has worked for years to ensure the place of our elite disabled sports people as part of a globally recognized sporting movement on a par with the Olympics as the pinnacle. Greater inclusion and improved accessibility are expected within the host cities, if not nations. A significant part of the London Paralympics, along with the Olympics, was the investment by the Big Lottery Fund, the Arts Council, and the Department of Culture, Media and Sport. The cultural legacy had far-reaching aims in attracting greater revenue through tourism and increased global awareness of national cultural attractions. And this was emphasized when the UK was a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities, specifically Article 30, which states that disabled people have the right to experience and participate in art, culture and sports. The UK DPC Paralympic and Disability History Month festivals from the moment of planning kept those principles foremost. We saw the value in showcasing disabled artists across the range of art forms as critical in breaking down barriers of exclusion and demonstrating excellence on a parallel with the legacy of increasing access to sport and training opportunities. We listened to local disabled people who told us that arts project work wasn't enough. The short period of time that the arts offer was being delivered would not give us enough opportunities to learn and develop new skills without an infrastructure to support that knowledge to grow. And the immediate and facing closures of community resources and day centres impacted massively on this lack of opportunity. It's not just the immediate barriers that we face together and the long-held prejudice that deny our children access to full and proper schooling, further and higher education, and the opportunity to pursue life goals, whatever they may be. The arts, like sports, are not just about creating an elite level of achievement, but alongside that, allowing the freedom of expression in established and new art forms in unique and creative demonstrations of excellence at all levels. How do we measure success? Is it in the first tentative marks on a piece of paper by someone who has previously been denied access to art materials? Or is that only available to a nationally renowned artist exhibiting at the Tate Modern? Together would argue for the value of both. We hold the belief that the cultural legacy of 2012 Paralympics extends to everybody to access, and we continue in our efforts to showcase disability art. I'm just briefly going to finish off. The 2020 festival is remarkable on several fronts. First and foremost, it's the first festival of our current staff team. Dr. Ju Gosling, the artistic director, Alison Marchant, our program manager, and we started the year with 2 new members of staff, Hazel Brill, our youth engagement worker, and Noel Guinan, the engagement support worker. Despite the restrictions that the current pandemic placed on our activities, we have all worked together, including the volunteers, to continue to realise our commitment to our work programme. So in 2020, together, 2012 went virtual.
And I think we'd better present the first virtual performance now.
Can I just briefly thank our funders?
I think we'll thank our funders at the end.
Okey-dokey.
And then we hope that way the funders will keep watching. In our first performance of the evening, I'm delighted to introduce our associate drama company, Act Up Newham CIC, who are an inclusive community drama company and training project. Act Up Newham have been producing content for our new Together Unlocked live stream every week since March using Zoom, led by Hannah Facey. And on Tuesday, the 24th of November at 7 p.m, they will be launching their multimedia project, I Am Tony, live for the Making History Together Festival, co-produced with Los Inseparables in Chile. If you look at the event page on our website, you will also be able to view video profiles of the company members that were first shown on Together Unlocked as part of our Black History Month celebrations. Tonight, we're first going to see a short video that Act Up Newham produced using Zoom earlier this year for Together Unlocked, Black Lives Matter. The Black Lives Matter campaign has been one of the defining historical events of 2020. We believe it's important to begin tonight by remembering all those people of colour who've died during arrests in the UK, US and elsewhere, many of whom had underlying health conditions. If you're unable to see the screen, the visuals show the different members of Act Up Newham, sometimes alone and sometimes with all of them displayed at once in typical Zoom gallery view. So if you could play that video for us now, Josh, thank you.
Black Lives Matter. We are all in one people. I don't understand why us black people getting killed by the police because of our skin color, how we represent ourselves, how we dress, how we move, how we talk. It's like everything we do is a crime. They look at us as if we are bad people and giving us bad names like thugs, gangster. Us black people will stand for our rights. We are not the problem. Racism is the problem. Racist people are the problem. Educate yourself, educate each other. Stand up to racism, understand each other. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you very much, Act Up Newham. Jo-anne Cox is also based in East London, and she composed Sophie's song, which we're going to hear next, in memory of the artist Sophie Partridge, who died in 2017. Sophie performed regularly for us, and when we open our planned David Morris Cultural Centre, the Studio Theatre will be dedicated in her name. But tonight, though, Jo-anne is playing for everyone who's lost someone this year. 2020 has been a brutal year for losing our friends and family members. Families also come in all shapes and sizes, including the families that make up many disability arts organisations and the wider disability arts movement. Now we're going to remember some of those we've lost, the history makers, including video tributes which embed Muertos Ofrendas, created in collaboration with Carnival arts organisation Callaloo. Muertos Ofrendas come from the Mexican Day of the Dead festival and include a number of elements: an image of the person in a decorated frame with butterflies and flowers, and a lantern or candle holder. From tomorrow, our festival website will include a page with videos and other resources from Callaloo to show you how to make these at home, either from recycled materials or a digital ofrenda. Our first tribute is to Rob de Noize Temple, who died in April along with his life partner. Rob was a founding member of Krip Hop Nation, who played at our 2014 festival as part of a UK tour that also included Dada Fest in Liverpool. In the afternoon, Krip Hop ran a workshop for locally based disabled artists that continues to inspire them today. The video begins and ends with digital images, the digital ofrenda, created by Krip Hop Nation in tribute to Rob, together with an excerpt from their performance at Stratford Town Hall. If we do have any problems with the videos, then please just do bear with us.
The strength of a man, black, disabled and masculine. The strength of a man, I'm black, I'm proud. I don't judge you, you don't judge me. Don't judge us, you one big family. I don't judge you, you don't judge me. Lady, I'm just psychomatic, thinking crystal shit. I don't judge you, you don't judge me. Don't judge us, you one big family. I don't judge you, you don't judge me. Lady, I'm just psychomatic, thinking crystal shit.
We always have to with that like blue panther, with that kind of lesbian, black and blue, playing basketball, with black road to the courtroom, and celebrate the blues. Every day is that funny, like every garden got pretty, kids are rising, the only one who can that's God, the only one, yeah.
Mr. Leroy Moore, running, Robin Lloyd Temple, Slim Shitty, Crystal Pinky Boy, Mr. Psychomatic, yeah. I don't judge you, you don't judge me. Don't judge us, you all big family. I don't judge you, you don't
Thank you very much. The next artist we're remembering tonight is Lyn Levett. I first met Lyn when she joined when I joined the Drake Music Project's women's group in 2001 following a long illness. And Lyn later became my tutor, teaching me to program in MIDI with techniques I still use today. As a disabled trans woman, Lyn was a pioneer in many ways, but never more so than in the early days when she sat in pubs on music nights, playing her keyboard with her nose and wheeling in backwards because that was the only way she could control her chair herself. It's fitting that she later became a member of Paraorchestra when it was formed in 2012, and Clarence from Paraorchestra has sent us these words. Lyn was a great sense of inspiration to me when we first met, the first day with Paraorchestra. The way she coped with her disability, regardless of her diagnosis, was amazing. She was very tasteful and creative in her music making, and I learned a lot from listening to what she did. I would either sit opposite her in the orchestra or next to her, and knew sometimes that some days were very difficult for her medically, and wondered as a section whether our big musical entry was going to happen in time. It always did. She had a great sense of humour, which made it worth waiting for her to arrive at the punchline with the difficulties that she had speaking. When she had a musical point to raise, the whole group would listen and be patient, as it was always worth hearing. I was sorry to hear the news of her passing, and have no doubt that she would have inspired many people. I was pleased that our lives crossed for the short periods of time it did. Thank you, Lyn. And now we have a musical tribute to Lyn from Baluji Shrivastav OBE.
Here's the special piece for Lyn, We Are Missing You, in Rag Charukeshi, which is a beautiful haired woman, consort of Lord Shiva.
Thank you, Baluji. The next video comes from Arcadea, formerly known as the Northeast Disability Arts Forum, and is in memory of Geof Armstrong. I first met Geof early in the noughties when he was running the National Disability Arts Forum in Newcastle. He approached me to become a specialist board advisor, and through him I learned a great deal about how to run a successful disability arts organisation. Later, when Geof had moved to Arcadea, he supported me when I took my national touring exhibition, Abnormal, to the Centre for Life in Newcastle. Geof organised a team of volunteers to help me to install the show on a Sunday, and then 2 days later supported me when the building managers decided to take it down again. You will see that the soundtrack chosen by his colleagues reflects Geof's passion for creating. When I returned at the end of the show's run in a different venue, Geof helped me again to deliver a workshop and talk. Geof helped a great many disabled artists to make history over the course of his own career, as well as making history himself. Thank you to Arcadea for that tribute to the much missed Geof Armstrong. Other friends we've lost this year include Chris Ledger from Belfast, whose leadership within the Irish disability arts movement resulted in a unified movement long before the Troubles ceased to exist. Chris led Arts Disability Ireland, and then via a name change that she championed, the University of the Atypical. I first met Chris during my first international gig in Helsinki in 1999, and she joined me on the visit to a local lesbian club that the organisers had organised for me. Later, she hosted my exhibition Abnormal in Belfast, and we were able to spend more time together. Chris was also a partner with us in the touring project that brought Krip Hop Nation to Newham in 2014. She's very much missed by her partner, colleagues, family and friends. And another artist who will be greatly missed is the dancer and actor David Toole, whose performance with Candoco at the opening of the London 2012 Paralympics went down in history. David was the first disabled dancer I knew of in the 90s and inspired me to believe that perhaps it was possible to dance without first possessing extreme youth and a ballet body. Tomorrow we will be opening a special page that will host the tributes we're showing here, and you can send us more to include. But now it's time to go over to Croatia, where Sign Dance Collective International have gathered to rehearse this autumn. Sign Dance Collective International are another company who've appeared regularly with us in the past, leading workshops as well as performing in a range of outdoor and indoor venues. Tonight, the performance was due to be led by US artist Lionel M. Macauley, who was part of the company in 2017 when they first performed with us. Lionel was a powerful and inspiring artist, and that summer I was privileged to attend the opening of the Tate Modern exhibition of US Black artists, Soul of the Nation, with him. I know from my conversation with Lionel this August that he was very much looking forward to tonight and to being a role model for artists of colour in East London. Tragically, we lost Lionel in September. So instead, the company paid tribute to him with their performances now, which includes video footage of Lionel himself. I understand we may have a couple of technical difficulties with the videos, but I am going to hand over. No, we seem to have everybody online, so I'm going to hand over now to Izolta Ivila and David Bauer and Sign Dance Collective International in Croatia.
Sleeping gems. Okay, now what is a sleeping gem? Anyone? A precious or semi-precious stone, especially when cut, polished, or engraved. What are the synonyms? Jewel, stone, brilliance, baguette, solitaire, diamonds, rubies. But you don't need a Rubik's Cube to understand that these synonyms can't see an end if you keep sending them in to sin again. Okay, a gain from that will be to understand who you really are. And who are you? A Gemini? You see a split personality mixed with some creativity, but an old friend of mine asked me if I see this gem in I. Okay, let me give you some gemology. Mixed with a little knowledge, you see. First, let's acknowledge the brilliance in you, while bringing positivity and perseverance to your resilience. Never resign from that consistency, because collaborating with others is the best way to become geminated. There's so much more that needs to happen so you can become celebrated. Next, let's embrace the jewel in you. But you'll be the one to combat positive energy coming towards you. It's kind of ridiculous that you have to be mysterious when you can get rid of the ridicule being written towards you. That's gemtrification. Okay, we have to figure out how we can win this journey of life without having to play solitaire. I know the rules aren't fair. It's kind of like having an affair. It's all fun and games trying to get around until you have to pay a fare. Geminal. It's up to you if you want to get stoned. Just make sure that your mind is as crisp as a baguette and that your heart is as fresh as French bread. You are a star, a diamond in the rough, a precious human that can take on the pressure to become a diamond when it becomes tough. You are a sacred vessel that can never be cut, a precious gem with the presence to be pretentious. My people, it's time to wake up.
So that piece was from In Between Spaces, and it's one of Lionel's poems that was inside the show. And we're going to do another small excerpt of In Between Spaces. It's called Message Sent, is the poem and the phone dance. So you're just going to get set up for that.
Hey, Queen, let me talk to you. Better yet, let me address you non-aggressively before asking for your address in order to get you undressed. I don't want to leave anything unsaid because what's left unsaid could possibly upset you when I'm only trying to respect you. I was a little skeptical as I stepped to you only because I want the best of me to get to know the rest of you. When I walked up to you, your demeanor had me thinking you might be a little mean, but that just turned out to be a mean smile. I seen that mean smile from long range, so it never made me think that you would be average. Now, if my next line's about a median, then that'll be a little mediocre. I just want to get you in the middle of my bed and turn you into a super soaker. Yeah, that's my kind of mode. Mean, median, mode, range. I know for all the math problems. I'd rather just get your math if that's not a problem or too problematic. If I call your phone and I hear static, then you'll be blocked automatic. I'm glad that you laughed. I mean, because you had all reason to walk away from me as I stare at your ass. Actually, my accuracy isn't too off to see that you're more than just an ass to see. Because what I can see is a beautiful queen with a dream that I'd love to have on my team. Let me forget about putting it in your spleen. I'd rather take you out to dinner and have you see me as a king. Nah, got you cooking me breakfast and have you calling me Hakeem. We graduated from the brain. I got you drinking Hennessy while you're caressing me with your eyes, lies, because I've been caressing every crevice of your essence, so what's a blessing? And finally, we trapped inside your presence. I'll be honest, I've never been a saint. I've made mistakes and lied in the past. I've made promises I couldn't keep, and I saved my own money so I can act cheap. Right, fellas? But I always kept my word and stayed on my own 2 feet, so I grew more mature and intelligent. But let me not take the time out to talk about myself, because talking about myself can be so irrelevant. But please, let me vent. It must be heaven sent the way that you and I met, so it's time that you let me vent my heart on you so we can both repent our past ways of being a serpent and left another's hearts for rent. Let's just build this home together for the better or the worse, okay? Now, message sent.
Now, we're going to do piece called Sleeping Gems. It's also part of In Between Spaces, and the show is about communication in the digital age and how people are separated by it. Well, right now we're being joined by it. So here goes. This is called Borders of Light by David Bauer. David.
Borders of light, born into borders of light. Our voices echoed across the walls of the world. Seasons of rain. Summer comes again. We waded on footstep across the open sea. We rose out of the sea. And the sun and the moon, they both go on. So far, deep in time. We both know that nothing is ever gotten from nothing.
Okay, that's it. That's in between spaces. Thank you, and thank you, Rob, for helping us, and thank you Together Festival.
Thank you so much, Sign Dance Collective International. Our hearts go out to you and to everyone who's lost someone this year. This concludes our opening night, but our festival continues until the 10th of December. Our live event nights are Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m, with recordings released the next day on our website www.together2012.org.uk. We also have family activities on Saturdays at 3 p.m, and next month our International Together Disability Film Festival takes place from Thursday the 3rd to Sunday the 6th of December, including 4 workshops for filmmakers and 3 live events with filmmakers for the general public. And that includes In Between Spaces, the films being presented on Saturday the 5th of December at 3 p.m. We have Zoom tickets available now for that. We're really looking forward to seeing Sign Dance Collective International back to talk about their film-based work then. In the meantime, 4 virtual exhibitions open today. Justin Edgar's Reasonable Adjustment, Shadowlight Artists Luminous, Ali Z's The Starving Artist, and the Together 2020 Open Exhibition. You can explore these great shows through the event pages on our website, linked to the main festival programme, and you can also book for the forthcoming events that celebrate them. You can also find out more about how to take part in Jessica Starn's Walk With Me live art project, which launched yesterday on our Together Unlocked live stream. More festival artists will be appearing on Together Unlocked, which streams from 3 to 4 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays throughout the festival. Before I say my very last words, Julie, I believe you wanted to thank the funders.
Oh, I certainly do. Thank you so much for helping this to happen. We're extremely grateful to the Arts Council England, to the Lottery Community Fund and to the London Recovery Fund. They have allowed us to make our festival and ourselves as accessible as we possibly can at this moment. So yes, thank you funders. We really, really appreciate it.
We do. So it just remains for me, and thank you for anybody who can't see, Sign Dance Collective International are raising a much needed glass of liquid refreshment to all of us and wishing you the same. So it just remains for me to wish you a safe journey to the kitchen or your next Zoom, and to finish with our slogan, which has never seemed more relevant than this year. Together, we are strong. Together, we can change the world. Thank you very much for coming.